What's up, it's your boy Ashes here with a fully working calculator in Minecraft. Well, I say fully working as long as by fully working you mean can add up numbers from 0 to 8 or subtract them and do nothing else. But hey, it's in Minecraft. So right now it says -8. Hopefully you can read this little display with redstone lamps. If not, well. Anyway, so let's say 4 minus 3. If you know what 4 minus 3 is, well done. If you don't worry, that's what this calculator is for. It's 1. 4 minus 3 is 1. Let's try something a bit more complicated, like 1 plus 1. Now that's a pretty difficult one. You might have to think about that for a little bit. Don't think about why that's there, but think about what 1 plus 1 is. It's 2. What about 4 minus 8? So 4 minus 8, that's, easy math. It is going to be -4. So I turned around a bit early that time. It takes a little bit for the calculator to show it, but it's -4. So whenever you do a calculation, and the reason why I keep turning around for long periods of time is because so in 7 minus 1, it should be 6, but it's going to sit there for a little bit, and there we go, we have 6. It will always get the right answer eventually. It might just take a little while. The one thing to know when using this calculator is it can only display numbers from -8. So, I don't know, 0 minus 8 would be -8. So that's the smallest number this calculator can display. Give it some time. -8. And strangely enough, the biggest number this calculator can display isn't 8. It's actually 7. So let's go 6 plus 1. And give it some time. It will be 7. The reason why it can't display 8 is quite technical, but it comes down to how my calculator stores information. And if you were to, do 8 plus 0, get an answer of 8, it will get the answer 8, but it happens to be stored the exact same way that -8 is stored, and so it puts -8. Alright, well that's the working calculator. Let's have a look at how it works. Standing on top of that room, and this is the whole calculator. I'm not going to go into too much detail about how it works, because, well, it's quite complicated, or at least it's very messy. But I'll go over the main parts. So first of all, we have where the player puts in what they want to add or subtract. And all this right here is in charge of taking that and storing it as binary, which is a bunch of 1s and 0s. That's how computers look at things. It's always 1s and 0s. So all this is in charge of taking in what the player wants and storing that as a bunch of 1s and 0s. Or in Minecraft, that is on redstone and off redstone. A 1 and a 0. Over here we have the actual system that adds the numbers, and interestingly, adding the numbers and subtracting numbers is almost the exact same thing. Again, how computers actually interact with numbers is there is no such thing as subtraction. You just have addition and slightly different addition, and it turns out that that's all you need for subtraction. And then finally over here, this whole mess, this huge stack of redstone wires all interconnected and a bunch of torches and repeaters. All this is just to take the number that the computer gets and put it into a nice, easy to read number. So like I said here, this takes our input and puts it in binary, 1s and 0s that computers use. So the actual addition is very easy for the computer or the calculator. And at this point right here, we have the answer in 1s and 0s, and all this is required to just put it into a nice and easy to read display. So to go a little bit more in depth, I'm going to change location. We're going to take a look at how the display works, how binary works, and some of the parts of the calculator. Not in too much detail, but just a little. So first of all, the display works kind of just like this. You power the redstone lamps and they turn on. If you don't have any power, it turns off. But if I was to grab this block, right now we have a nice 5, but if I was to power this block right there, we now have a 9. So we're trying to take our number that we get from our calculator and put it into this display, turn on and turn off the right things to get the number displayed there. All right, so I've been talking about binary. I've been talking about how computers use 1 and 0s. What does that mean? Well, a quick look at binary. If you think of how we count numbers, if you think of, I don't know, the number 17, the 7 in 17 means 7, but the 1 in 17 actually means 10. It's similar in binary, or base 2, as it's also called, but the second number in the number is equivalent to 2, the next one is 4, next one is 8. If you think in base 10, which is what you use with numbers, the second number is worth 10, then 100, then 1,000. So it's a little bit different. But you can read the number by having a look at what each location is worth and then adding it up. So what do I mean by that? Well, I mean this redstone torch is on, so we count that as a 1. So we are going to add 1. This one is off, so we don't add 2. This one is on, so we add 4. And this one is off, so we don't add 8. So if we had 0, 1, 0, 1, our computer reads that as 4 plus 1, which is 5. So 5. So all that crazy redstone at the back of the calculator is used to take something like this, 0, 1, 0, 1, and turn it into this mess of on and off lights to make it look like this. So going from this to this takes a lot of work, and that's why there's so much redstone just for that. How we actually use our 1s and our 0s is right here. So if you don't play Minecraft or don't use redstone in Minecraft, this might be new to you. So, pay attention. If you have a block like glass that is transparent, and a few other exceptions, and you put redstone power into it, it does not actually power the block, and so it won't turn off a redstone torch. But if any other block, if it's solid, and you power it, it will power the block, and any redstone torch that is being powered will turn off. So this is how we store information of a 1. We can use glass blocks like this. And if we want to keep information about 0s, we use a solid block like this netherite. That's one way we can store information. The other way we can store information and how a computer stores information is something called a RS NOR latch. The R stands for reset and the S stands for set. So set means turn on or set to a 1, and the R means turn off or reset back to 0. So whenever you hit this button, this lamp will always be off, and whenever you hit this button, the lamp will always be on. Like that. And this is the redstone needed for it. And it's how computers work. I mean, it doesn't look like this in a computer, but the idea of being able to store a single piece of information, a 1 or a 0, and a computer obviously would have literally billions of these to store information. And then the last thing that you need for a calculator or a computer is logic gates. There's a lot of them. This one only uses these 3. And I'll quickly go over how each one works. Alright, so what you need to know about logic gates is you have 2 inputs. That's going to be the levers. And they can be either on or off. Right now they're both off. And if I flick the lever, it turns on. And each logic gate will also have 1 output, which will be this lamp. And it might not be immediately obvious how you would use this in a computer or how you'd use this in a calculator, but this is how everything is done inside your computer, is with these logic gates. You just need a lot of them put together in really smart ways, and you can do complicated things like add 2 numbers or, I don't know, play Minecraft, for example. It requires a whole lot of these. We're not going to get into how you do that, but just how they work on a basic level. So this one here is called an AND gate, and it is called an AND gate because it does exactly what the name would suggest. If you wanted, let's say, a burger and you wanted fries, you wouldn't be happy if you only got a burger. You wouldn't be happy if you only got fries. I'm saying this represents a burger and this represents fries. And you wouldn't be happy if you got neither a burger nor a fry. But if you got a burger and you got fries, you'd be happy. So that is an AND gate. You want both of those things, a burger and fries. Over here we have a slightly easier gate in Minecraft, which is the OR gate. And likewise, it does what the name would suggest. If you wanted a burger or you wanted fries, well, you wouldn't be happy if you got neither. But if you had a burger, you'd be happy. If you had fries, you'd be happy. And if you had a burger and fries, you'd still be happy. You just got a little bit more than you needed, you're still happy. Alright, finally, this gate here, it's my personal favorite gate. It's a little hard to make in Minecraft. You actually need comparators. Well, you can make it without them, but it's a lot bigger of a gate. And this one is the only one of these three that doesn't make a whole lot of sense if you've never heard of it before. It is called an Xor Gate. The X stands for exclusive, even though it doesn't start with an X, and the OR just means OR. So right away, it is very similar to this gate over here, with one main difference. So we're going to stick with the burger and fries. So if you had neither of them, you would not be happy. If you had a burger, you'd be happy. And if you had fries, you'd be happy. Now, where this one's different is if I gave you a burger and I gave you fries, now I've given you too much food and you're not happy anymore. And that's what the exclusive part of XOR means, is you have to have exclusively one of these on. If both of them are on, you're not happy. If both of them are off, you're not happy. You need exclusively one of these to be on. And these three are used in the adding part of my calculator, and they are used everywhere in an actual computer to calculate many different things. But you do need a lot of these gates, like thousands and millions of them inside your computer to actually calculate things. So, you know, it's pretty simple when you look at a single part like this. And even my little calculator over here, while it looks complicated because of the mess that it is, it's not too bad. Like over here, you can see my XOR gates right there, and I have some AND gates right there. It's not too complicated. I only have a few of each right here. But to, I don't know, have an actual computer, you're going to need so many more of these. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Just to close off, I'm just going to show you how long it took me to make this. I spent so long over there building this calculator that almost every villager in this village climbed into this hole and got stuck.